Welcome, Falcons fans. Hey, it's Pound for Pound ATL. And of course, hey, it's Toby D. And I got my man over there, JR. And we are back at it again. Man, we've been on the road and we got another segment for you guys. This time it is called Atlanta Falcons Under Further Falcon Eye View. And we're going to look deeper into some plays that JR and myself have chosen. Two positive plays that impacted the game in a positive way, and two negative plays that impacted the game in a negative way. JR, what's going on, man?
Oh man, nothing much, yo. Just trying to figure out what these birds are about, what they're doing, what it's looking like, and like how this impacts us going forward in a sense. Like we feel like if we can further understand what they're trying to do, then maybe some of the things will look a little different on Sundays, right?
Yeah.
And you may not get much the first week, but this is going to be like one of those accumulative effects. The more we do it, hopefully, the more we all begin to understand and start to see the patterns and stuff that start to emerge, right?
Yeah. I mean, man, we got this week 3 matchup coming up against the Seahawks in
Right.
Seattle. And yeah, man, like you said, we're just trying to see where the Falcons are actually trying to go, and hopefully they can get over some of these mental hurdles that kind of hunted them in this game in week 2. And you saw it was evident, and they can move on from that and get better at executing some of these things that we've already seen tendencies that they like to do and the
Exactly.
looks that they like to provide. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna let you take it away.
All right. Well, let's start off with a good. And the good we're going to start off with is on the offensive side, we're going to start off with the Alamaze Zacchaeus touchdown. So let me get this pulled up here. Share you my screen. All right, here we go. Oh, all right, back it up. This thing just likes to start playing right off the rip. Okay, so right off, what you notice is that we're breaking off in a 2x2 set. Okay,
hmm
you got some of your smaller, quicker guys on one side with Cordero Hodge and Alameda Zacchaeus, and then on the other side of the formation, the left side of the formation, you got Kyle Pitts and Brian Edwards. In the backfield on this particular play, you had Avery Williams, which I found to be interesting. You would figure down here by the goal line, you'd see more like Cordell or Tyler Algier. So maybe they were just trying to give a different wrinkle or a different look.
Yeah.
Uh, as you can see with the lines that are already drawn up, you have uh, Zacchaeus who gets that like little shallow out route. Uh, what do you call that? That's a dig, right? Is a
Yeah,
dig.
it's a out. It's a
It's
out. You
out.
called it right.
Dig it comes
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
So he's got that shallow out route. You got Pitts running out like going towards the after coming in motion. You got him going towards the corner. You
Yeah.
have uh, Brian Edwards coming up with a post coming right across the goal line, and then you have Cordell Hodge running towards the back part of the end zone.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the actual play and we'll see what we note. They snap it, and right here, as you can see, like Aaron Donald was a force, obviously. Like you weren't really going to be stopping Aaron Donald very much, right?
No.
So he's already busting through. He's done busted through the double team of the left guard and Avery Williams. He's done ran over them. So now you got Mariota rolling out, which is why you wanted the more athletic quarterback. You wanted him to be able to do these kind of things. Okay. So when he goes rolls out, Alameda is smart here in the sense
Yeah.
that he doesn't just run into the end zone. That whole time he's watching what Mariota's doing, and he flattens his route
Yep.
right here and presents his numbers to Marcus. That gets done, and right there, because of Mariota's ability, Jalen Ramsey was kind of frozen of
hmm
caught in no man's land. Does he come down to try to help contain Mariota, or does he keep running with Alameda? So he is kind of frozen, and that hesitation allows that separation for Alameda, right?
Yeah.
So obviously gets the pass out, Alameda gets it, scampers into the end zone for a touchdown.
And that's what you want, like you said, Jr. With a quarterback that has that athleticism and the ability to be mobile because
Right.
he could have been sacked. And let's just face it, if that was Matt Ryan, he was sacked.
Right. He'd have
Um,
been done.
yeah, but
So
that scramble definitely helped OZ to be able to see what he was doing and react to it, get over there where he made himself accessible, and he hits OZ for the easiest touchdown that we saw really of the day.
right. And that's like as much as in the previous streams that we've kind of like torched Mariota and his decision making, like these are the plays that you can look at and see, okay, that's why they're starting Mariota.
Yeah.
It's because he's able to, do this kind of thing, perform in that manner, and give you those type of plays. But now, let's go to a not so great, right?
Mm,
Can't just be always awesome. Got to balance it out with some of the not so great. And this is we're going to go to the failed 2-point conversion.
mm,
This again shows you what is maddening right now about Mariota, and that you hope that he gets this in correction. Okay. They break huddle on a 4th and 2 after
yep.
failing to convert on a short third down. You get into 4th and 2, and you come out with a real heavy line here. You got Parker Hesse on the end, and then you got Keith Smith in the backfield. You're in the pistol with an offset fullback who
Yep.
is so all your strength is on the left side of the line here. Okay. That's where you're trying to get the defense to go, okay, they're trying to run over here. So, that's how you're trying to influence. Then you even add influence by throwing Olamide Zaccheaus into motion.
Hmm.
You got London out here on his own, and you throw Olamide Zaccheaus into motion coming this way in an orbital motion. I'm going to show you that
Yep.
now. Right? So there he is. He's getting that orbital motion going, right? Again, all this is to influence the defense. They want the defense going left. All right. Here, to me, is where the failure happens. All right. We snap the ball. At this point in time, Olamide has made the orbital motion coming back this way.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And he's going to be, I'm going to show you a picture in a minute where he is just wide open by himself over here. Mariota is reading these two guys on the end. If I'm not mistaken, this is a safety on the very end who's crashing down. So the defensive end is crashing in. The safety is coming down for contain. The safety is taking away Mariota. This is a classic, triple option.
Yep.
Cordell being one option, Mariota being the second option, and the third option is Zaccheaus. To me, Zaccheaus should have got the ball here. In this read, it would be apparent to me that Zaccheaus should get the ball. What do you, on this particular image, are you reading it the same way, or am I using hindsight?
No, Zacchaeus definitely should have gotten the ball, but the problem has been, JR, is that this is supposed to be something that Marcus is good at, is being able to read the ends,
Right.
and he has not done well in that area so far this year at all, and that's the reason why the play blew up.
Mm-hmm.
He took the safe bet and sent it back there to CP84, and the reason why is because they don't trust him to throw the ball on third down or fourth down apparently.
Right.
And you've seen them do this on a third down and fourth call where he gave the ball to CP84 and he did convert it.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not going to be able to rely on that every time. It's that CP84 is going to be your safe way out and
Right.
convert those short down yardage gains. It's just not going to happen. But you're right. OZ had a lot of room over there
Yeah. You're seeing it
on
right
his
here.
side. Yeah, I
Like
can see it clear. Yeah.
right here, CP's got the ball, right? But had
Yeah.
Mariota kept the ball, say he pulled it out of CP's gut, and
Mm-hmm.
this guy on the edge is obviously there to take away Mariota. Right? That's plain and simple. But
Yep.
right now, if he flips that ball out, which is only about a 5-yard little flip, right?
Yeah.
He flips that ball out. OZ has got a lead blocker in Drake London, and you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about at least 10, 15 yards, if
Yeah.
not a big, way bigger game. We've got to see Mariota, start to make these reads
Yeah.
because that's why you handed him the reins in that sense. Is that he's got to be able to make these reads.
Mm-mm-mm. That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
you
it
just
is.
see him over there, just plain as day.
Yeah, wide open, just wide open. Like the part that got me is the simple fact that
Wow.
uh and I'm gonna hold this. Let's see, hold on, I gotta get my screen. Here we go. The part that gets me is what I noticed is like I didn't chart the whole game. I got about the first 2-3 drives done. But the motion man was not being utilized. And what I mean by that is when they put somebody in motion, they were going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And this was a perfect opportunity, a perfect time to actually utilize the motion man, to break your in game tendency
Mm-hmm.
and utilize the motion man. Because you had a defensive line that the whole point of it up to this point in this game could ignore the motion guy. They could tell themselves, all right, the motion's just there for window dressing.
That's
Don't pay attention to the motion.
exactly.
Like straight up and down, coaching 8th grade football, watching a team and noticing every time they sent a guy into motion, that's where the ball went. That was a tendency. Against us, that game, they broke that tendency. They had seen their own tendency. They only called that play one time while we were
Mm.
playing them.
Wow.
And I chuckled to myself because I was like, of course, I spend all this time to make sure these kids realize that if a kid goes into motion, follow that guy. And they break that tendency, right? Here you are in the professional leagues going, every time you send somebody in motion, we were sending people in motion at what, the second highest rate
Oh
or
yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
highest rates?
Yeah.
Almost every play, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sending the guy in a motion. And if you don't ever use that motion man, if all he is window dressing, then the defense can ignore it.
Right. It's no threat.
Right. That would have been a perfect opportunity, whether you had converted it or not. It would have put that notion in the defense's mind
Yep.
that we can't just ignore the motion guy,
Mm-hmm.
that the motion guy can be a threat. So I hope that that's something that Smith has self-scouted and realized that they need to start utilizing the motion guy in the actual play design. All right, so let's go to another good, right? Show on screen, and we're going to look at uh, Walker's interception. All right. Okay, so they break huddle, right? And all right, let's see, we'll get it to where it's at. And they're initially looking like, cover two,
Yeah.
looking like you got two high safety.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in the comments is going to correct me. They're going to be like, "That's not cover two. That's something else." Okay, look, I'm still getting that terminology down better. So you got two high safeties at the beginning of the play, but as they start getting set, Dean Marlowe's walking down,
Yep.
and we get into single high, which is generally cover three. And they've been running a lot of cover three already this year.
Yes.
First two games, they've been playing a lot of single high, which I'm glad to see that they're trusting Richie. In that sense, and he's not in the first two games hasn't been a liability, so
Right.
that's a net positive. Okay, now we just need him to start making some plays, causing turnovers and that kind of stuff. So you initially have so they snap the ball and both your linebackers take a step towards the line, which I find interesting. So they're mugging. You have a real mugged look here with it's almost like a three linebacker look with Dean Marlowe down here close to the box.
Right.
It's kind of funny. We griped for so long about Dean P or Dan Quinn's cover three, and here we are with Dean P's running almost primarily cover three. But anyway, nonetheless, you had a four-man rush. Grady wasn't on the field at this time. You had 98, Mir Abdullah, and who's 93? Is 93 Timmy Horn?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, that's Timmy
If I'm
Horn.
not
Yeah.
mistaken, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Or
Because
98 might be Horn and 93 might be Abdullah. But you're rushing with Ebiketie and Carter. You have right at this particular play, AJ Terrell's sitting on the bench. You got Darren Hall over here opposite Casey Hayward, which is he's following the motion man. So if he's following the motion man, that means they're in some form of man, right?
yeah, that's
So
what it normally when that's why people do the motion a lot of times because they're trying to see if you are a man or not.
right.
If he follows him, that gives you a direct indication that they're going in the man.
So the deal is, right, he follows him. Hayward follows the motion guy. So Stafford is thinking he's got all this area over here to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when Evans and Walker take a step towards the line.
Right.
So when they first break towards the line, Stafford's like, "Oh, I got cut all day long
Yeah.
on this crosser," and that's what he's thinking.
Right. Because it's
But
like it's hot read because it looks like it's
right,
going to be a blitz initially.
exactly. So that's where he's trying to go. He's going to fit it over Evans, right? But
Mm-hmm.
Walker bails out. Both Walker and Evans bails out and gives you that look here in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And when they bail out, boom. Now we back it up just a bit. Like when he catches that ball, he's going for Cup. Like
Right.
straight up and down. That's where he's going. He knows that 18's taking Darren Hall out of the picture. So he's going to have Cup with an inside release with all this open grass.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he's like, oh, eyes this big. Right?
And I don't blame him.
No, heck no, I don't blame him. Especially after you see the two linebackers come forward. But thankfully enough, with Mikael Walker's athleticism, he's able to bail back
Yeah.
and catch that interception.
Yeah. He played that perfectly too,
Oh yeah,
man.
it was beautiful,
It was
absolutely
perfect.
beautiful. I love that play. That had me some kind of hyped.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna tell you, I got hyped by that same similar play against Carolina Panthers.
Right,
And I was wondering, like, where did I see that before? But I remember him, Carolina Panthers, week 14, when it was up there in Carolina. They had a similar look for Cam Newton. Cam Newton thought he had that hot read, and Walker bailed out and dropped into coverage, and he actually took that in for a touchdown. And you saw if
right.
he had space like he wanted, it was going in for a touchdown.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was definitely angling for that. So
Yeah,
I'm really loving the development of Walker right
man.
now. He's had a few misses here or there, but he's been a very impactful linebacker. He is definitely, I think, your Mike of the future for sure.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
glad to see it. All
I
right,
hope they don't let him walk out the door.
man, come on with it. I hope they don't. I hope at the end of the day, what I'd love to see is by the end of the season, you have like Troy Anderson and Michael Walker,
Yeah,
like really manning that. Or if it's Rashawn Evans and Michael Walker, then let's lock up Rashawn Evans,
yeah.
and figure out what we're doing with Troy Anderson. But I really like Michael Walker. All right. So that was our second good. Followed up, we got the OZ good, the fourth and two bad, the Walker good. Now it's time. Now it's time for the Ramsey interception. You didn't think we wasn't going to talk about that. All right. Let's get it going. All right. So what we're at 3rd and 9 or 3rd and 8?
Third 13, if I'm not mistaken, because
Third
we
and
ended up getting
13.
a penalty and
That's
got
right.
backed up.
That's right. Third. So it's 3rd and 13, right? You're trying to
Mm-hmm.
win the game. You just, you're trying to make the epic comeback.
Yep.
You come out with a real good formation, in my opinion. You got London and Zacchaeus on one side, Edwards and Pitts on the other side. So you got power on both sides of the, your strengths are on both sides of the formation here. You have London running a post route, or a corner route, rather. You got your outlet in Zacchaeus in the flats, running another out route, similar to what he scored a touchdown on. Okay. You got Edwards running a post route. And then you got Pitts who comes into motion and then runs what should be like a corner route.
Yeah, I
In
see
my
that now.
opinion, and I have to stress this because I don't know what the play call is. I can look at the formation, I can look at the routes they run. But in my opinion, this play was designed for either Pitts or London, with the safety blanket of Zacchaeus as a hot route. I don't think in any thought process of Arthur Smith's did he think he was going to throw it to Brian Edwards. And you'll see why here in a second, okay? Why I don't think that Edwards was meant to do anything other than draw coverage away from Pitts. All right. So here we go. Line up. They're in what, cover 2 looks like maybe? You got the two safeties here in the middle of the field.
Yeah, they're trying to sugar it, but yeah.
Right. All right. So Pitts goes into motion. Now, when Pitts goes into motion, that makes it a condensed set, right? You
Yep.
get because of Pitts, you get the safety. I think this is a safety. Number 24. I'm not familiar with their roster. But you get this guy walking down closer to the line of scrimmage. So you got mug look. That's one of the things. These two guys are linebackers. That one's Bobby Wagner, if I ain't mistaken. 54.
You talking about in the middle there? Yeah.
So let's see. All right, here we go. Now we run it, and right there, the pocket has collapsed.
Yep.
Okay. Again, what we were worried about, the interior pressure has been better, but obviously this is an all-world defensive line. You got freaking
Right.
Aaron Donald there, right? So at this point, he should be looking at Zacchaeus. You see the pocket collapsing. He should be looking for his hot route. Am I wrong there?
Yeah, he should be.
And at this point, Zacchaeus is going to be open. He may even get close to the first down. But you're trying to win the game. This is 4-down territory.
Right.
Marcus has to know that. So you got Brian Edwards streaking up the field in between 33, 5, and then 4 ends up over there. So the guy who you haven't had to rely on pretty much all game, first 2 games really, now you thinking he's going to win against Jalen Ramsey? Right? You know what I'm saying? So we keep playing. And here comes the throw. Now, you were making an interesting point about 33 before the snap. Do I need to back it up?
Yeah, because what I was talking about is.
Here, I'll back it up, though. Here you go. You there?
What I was talking about is how he was playing both the wide receivers over there on that side. So that's probably why you didn't have Marcus going over there, because he was scared of that, that the dude could jump the route the way that he was technique, sound playing both those receivers that was on that side. So he went with the safest bet that he could see right off the rip, and that unfortunately was Edwards. Now, you probably gonna laugh at me for saying this, but I actually like the fact that he went for Edwards. The problem was is that Ramsey liked it more because he was able to jump up over the top of him and get the ball away from him. But I think, to me, that was a good, safe choice to go with. Unfortunately, in the situation that it was in, a 3rd down and 13, I probably would have broken them plays up and got as many yards as I could to get some of them yardage, some of that yardage down.
Right.
But you're going for the win. I think that to me would probably be the option I probably would have gone with to take Edwards as opposed to going over there to Zacchaeus and London. I know that sounds stupid to a lot of people, but when you look at the play again, you can
Hmm.
see why he went there as quick as he did. Because I mean, it looked like initially he was going to be able to hit Edwards,
Well,
right there.
the deal here is before he let the ball go, Aaron Donald was up in his face,
Oh yeah, most
and I get
definitely.
it, you know. But to me, you got to make a better decision. Like as soon as you see that pressure coming through, you got to know where your hot route is and get it to it. Because you almost had 5 yards of separation between Zacchaeus and number 14 there. I don't think he would have been able to jump the route.
Yeah, I know. And sometimes it don't look like that, but man, you'd be surprised at how good these instincts are of these players, man, to be able to play those routes like that, and jump it. And but I can tell you this much by seeing what Aaron Donald did,
Mm-hmm.
I think they knew what was coming, Jr. Because for Aaron Donald to be able to get through like he did, he got through on the same side that Mariota was getting ready to throw the ball at, and he made an impact play and he impacted it. And I think if Mario had a little bit more time, the throw probably would have been a little bit more cleaner to make
Right.
that throw. That's just what I see. Because
Right.
for Aaron to be able to hit on the same side where the throw was going, I think they knew where it was going at, man. And they did a good job at getting over there and making a play at that moment to shut that down.
I agree. Like at the end of the day, like those guys are Super Bowl champs. And the week prior, they got their face kicked in by the Bills,
Yeah,
and they were winning handily against you, and then you come roaring back, and it was kind of in a way like Aaron Donald did what he did in the Super Bowl. He's like, nope, done. Like not having this, not in my house, not today. I'm shutting it down,
yeah,
and that's what he did. So
yeah,
look, all world. I'm just saying, I would like to have seen uh Mariota like realize that you don't have to get it all in one shot.
yeah,
Not in that particular situation. It's that situational football what we talk about quite a bit, right? And through the first two games, situational awareness for Marcus Mariota isn't necessarily there.
yeah,
And if I got to
yeah,
reteach a vet situational awareness, I'd rather just teach the rookie.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I would have went with OZ. That's more than likely where I would have went just to get some yards. But
mhm,
Mariota is trying to go for the gusto, and that's what happens, man. I mean, he's got a lot of work to do to be an
mhm,
8-year vet, man. It just seems like there's a lot of rookie mistakes that are being
right,
made, and like I said before, he's not exactly running the schemes that Tennessee ran, and I don't think a lot of people understand that he's learned almost a totally different offense, and you can tell that he's still not comfortable with knowing the ins and outs of where guys are supposed to be,
right.
and what he can do within the schemes yet, and that's gonna take some time, unfortunately.
Yeah, and hopefully this weekend will be, this game coming up will be another step in the right direction. Because even though we kind of ended this particular review on a sour note, there have been a lot of good in the first two games.
Yeah,
I mean, you've scored, uh, 27 plus points, 25 and 27. So your offense is moving the ball and it's working against two really good defensive lines.
right.
So that's encouraging. It really is. Um, but as we were going to do with this segment, we're going to pick good plays and bad plays because you can't just dog and you can't just hype. You
Yeah.
got to do a little bit of both. But what do you see coming up against Seattle? Like, is there something that watching these film reviews or rewatching this film, is there something that you think that we should be leaning on going into Seattle?
You got two offenses that like to turn the ball over. Seattle's offense, and you got the Falcons. And I think both of them are tied in point the differential, turnover differential, with four apiece. And that's
Right.
just the balls that are turned over. I'm not even talking about the ones that got recovered. Atlanta has a little bit more than Seattle does. So to me, it's going to come down, first of all, to who can take care of the ball best. And these defenses on both sides, Seattle and the Falcons, are going to try to see who they can get to turn over the ball first and make a mistake in this game because of that. Um, I don't like Mariota or Geno Smith in this game. Be honest with you, man. When I'm watching these guys, I basically had to close my eyes because they are one throw or run away from turning that ball over, man.
Oh yeah.
And it,
And
I don't know if the Falcons going. I don't know, man. I don't know if we're gonna be able to win this game. I'll be
well,
honest
yeah,
with
like
you, man.
you add what appears to be like a skittery Mariota in, in that environment that is like thrives off of how loud they are and
Right,
how much they can affect opposing offenses. It's a lot like Arrowhead Stadium and other places like that. But that's something that the 12th man
right.
really feels like that they can affect the game. And if they start, if Mariota like continues bobbling snaps and turning the ball over, that ain't gonna do nothing but just crank them up. And now you got the added um, challenge of not having Elijah Wilkerson this week,
Hmm.
who's already been ruled out for a
Yeah,
personal matter. And we hope that whatever that personal matter is, like if it's something that's pulling him away, we send our prayers and our well wishes to him and his family, because you imagine it's got to be something pretty serious to have to miss a game
yeah,
like that. And so now you're going to have a new left tackle, or a new left guard rather, in Cody Gossett or Chad Amungo or Munga or whatever his name is.
yeah. It's a
So
hard name to say.
yeah, so I mean I'm concerned there. I know that it's not the Legion of Boom anymore, but they got Boy Mafe up there who is turned heads at the Senior Bowl and was making noise during the preseason.
Yeah. Now I'll tell you what though, if they don't get to the Falcons, there are big plays to be made. These first two games, Seattle Seahawks defense has been atrocious when you're able to get past their front line. And I'm telling you, the big plays that have been amassed on them, missed tackles, number one, that you've seen from them because they take poor angles, get into the ball, and blown assignments. Um, Out there in coverage. So the Falcons have an opportunity to be able to run and throw if they have not improved Seattle defense, that is, on those areas. But Seattle has turned that ball over on defense, just like the Falcons have these past 2 weeks. So, like I said, they're going to be looking to see if they can get one of these offenses to make a mistake first. And both defenses are going to be seeing a similar depiction of their offense because both Seattle offense and the Falcons run some of the same type of looks from pistol, shotgun, triple option, diamond looks. What the Seattle Seahawks seem to look real good and explosive out them diamond looks. So we're gonna have to be real careful on that back end that they don't get explosive plays because I've seen them get explosive plays off them diamond looks.
Right,
So that's going to be interesting to see how we both do against similar offenses. Now we run a little bit more motion than I've
right.
seen them do the past 2 weeks, though.
Well, now if we can just actually start utilizing the motion man, like
Yeah,
it ain't got to be every time, but you got to keep to keep that defense honest. If you're gonna run that motion guy, then that motion guy's got to be more than just a blocker on that other
yeah,
side, which seems to be what, like, because a lot of times it's Parker Hesse who's running that motion,
right,
and he just seems to be doing it to be another blocker. So we'll hope that they can get there. You know, I say woes. It's really weird to think about the amount of points that we've scored, and we're still talking about like offensive woes.
yeah,
But you obviously didn't run as much against the Rams as you did against the Saints. So, hopefully we can get, Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson really going, because that's at the end of the day, that's what Smith wants to run like that. He wants that to be the backbone of his offense, is that run game.
right. And
You
the
know,
front bone.
the The
because you
front,
don't have a quarterback that you can trust that's going to throw 30, 40
no,
times a game.
no,
So we have to be able to run, which is why we, even when we were down, we still came out and ran the football because you don't have the type of quarterback. So running definitely has to be a front priority for the Atlanta Falcons.
right.
And we got to run more than 90 yards.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't break 100 yards this past game.
Yeah,
But through the first two games, your average, I think it's like 4.8 yards a carry, I
which
believe
is
is what it
good.
is,
Yeah, that's
which is
great.
good, you know. So if they can just keep that up now, like I said, it has me worried without Wilkerson, even though they've been running a lot of right. So they've been trying to run behind McGarry and Lindstrom. So we'll see if they are able to break some of their tendencies and that they've shown in the first two games. And Seattle seems to have been susceptible to tight ends, so maybe this is
Hmm.
the Kyle Pitts breakout game.
Ooh, I hope
So
so.
yeah, and I think like you're already like whether rightfully so or not, you're already getting a lot of comments out of the media and out of the fans of,
Yeah.
why Pitts hasn't been more involved as to where, from a coaching perspective, they're doing he's doing what they're asking him to do. Uh, but from a fan perspective, number fourth overall pick just last year, I don't need him blocking almost every play. You know,
Well, yeah, yeah. Like you said, this is a game where he should get touchdowns. I mean, last year, Ken Norton's defense gave up 9 total touchdowns to tight ends, and they already started off in the first 2 games giving up a touchdown to a guy that wasn't named George Kittle.
there you go, exactly. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for us. It gives a good look at what we got coming up. We really hope that y'all have enjoyed this film review. Uh, Hopefully we don't get dinged or nicked by the video clips that we did use. Um, we'll see how it goes. But if not, we'll just have to do this all in still imagery, which is, you know, is what it is.
Yeah.
But let's see. Oh, gotta get my text going here, Toby. Let's see. Bam! There it is.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Oh, as always, Falcons fans, y'all can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Grim1128. It's GRIMM1128. Toby.
Toby D 1991.
That's right. As always, Falcons fans, rise up.
Rise up.